Have you ever stopped to think about what you're seeing and hearing right now? I mean, really think about it. It all feels so real, so direct, doesn't it? But what if I told you it's not? What if everything you experience is actually an incredibly elaborate construction, a masterpiece built entirely inside your head? Today, we're going to dive into your personal reality engine. So let's just start with the big one, shall we? Is the world you perceive the world as it truly is? Or is it possible it's more like a customized movie, one that's being directed, edited, and produced in real time by your brain? The answer, I think, might just change how you see, well, everything.
Okay, to get to the bottom of this, we need to get two key players straight in our heads: sensation and perception. The easiest way to think about it is this. Sensation is like the raw ingredients: light waves, sound vibrations, raw data. Your eyes and ears are just collecting this stuff. But perception, oh, that's the master chef. That's your brain taking all those raw ingredients and cooking them into the rich, meaningful experience you call reality.
And this difference is absolutely crucial. See, your brain isn't some passive camera just recording what's out there. No. It's an active storyteller, taking that raw sensory data and weaving it into something that makes sense. Let's see how it does it. So, I want you to hold on to this idea, this metaphor. Your brain is a reality engine. It is constantly humming along, taking the raw materials gathered by your senses and building your conscious world from the ground up, every single moment you're awake. It's the most powerful and personal engine you will ever own.
But like any engine, this one has its own specs. It has limits. It can't process everything. Its tools, your senses, have very specific boundaries, and those boundaries define the edges of the reality you're allowed to experience. Okay, so the first limit is what we call the absolute threshold. This is basically the faintest possible thing you can detect. It's the line in the sand between nothing and something. Anything that falls below this line, it might be happening out there in the world, but as far as your brain is concerned, it just doesn't exist. And the second limit is the difference threshold. You might also hear this called the just noticeable difference. Now, this isn't about detecting something from nothing. This is about detecting a change. It's the tiniest increase or decrease in something, like the volume on your TV, that you can actually notice. And look, these aren't just abstract ideas for textbook. They are the fundamental rules of your sensory world every single day. That single drop of perfume you can just barely smell in a big room, that's your absolute threshold for smell. And that moment you know for sure your friend turned the music up by just one click, that's you testing your difference threshold for sound. But there's another really cool rule your brain follows. It gets bored pretty easily. It's programmed to look for what's new, for what's changing. This is called sensory adaptation. Your senses are literally designed to stop paying attention to things that are constant and unchanging. Think about it. You know exactly what I mean. When you first put on a watch or your glasses, you feel them, right? But after a few minutes, that feeling is gone. Did the watch disappear? Of course not. Your brain's reality engine just decided that this constant, steady signal isn't important news anymore, so it filters it out. It's a brilliant little efficiency hack to help you focus on what actually matters. So our brain filters out the constant stuff to focus on the new stuff. To really, really see how this reality engine works its magic, let's follow one single piece of new information on its journey from the outside world all the way into your mind. And we'll use our most dominant sense to do it: vision.
So, I want you to imagine a single particle of light, a photon. It just bounced off, say, a friend's face, and now it's flying straight towards your eye. Right now, it's just raw information. It's just energy. Let's follow it. This whole journey happens in an instant. First, boom, the light enters through your cornea. Then it's funneled right through the pupil, which gets bigger or smaller to control how much light gets in, kind of like a camera aperture. Next, the lens does the critical job of focusing, projecting a sharp but actually upside-down image onto the retina at the very back of your eye. Up until this point, it's all just physics.
But this is where the magic happens. On your retina, millions of tiny photoreceptor cells do something absolutely incredible. They perform an act of translation. They take the physical energy of that light and convert it into electrochemical signals, neural impulses. They're literally turning light into the native language of the brain.
Okay, so the data has been collected and translated. But right now, it's just a chaotic storm of meaningless signals. This is where the reality engine truly shows us what it can do. In this final act, your brain takes that chaos and creates its masterpiece, your coherent, three-dimensional world. See, your brain is, at its core, a pattern-seeking machine. It gets this storm of data from the retina and immediately, automatically, starts organizing it. It's looking for shapes, for edges, for objects. It's trying to create a meaningful whole, a concept psychologists call a gestalt, out of all the broken, fragmented parts. It's basically connecting the dots for you.
All right, let's put your own reality engine to the test. Just look at the two horizontal lines on the screen. Simple question for you. Which one is longer? The one with the fins pointing out or the one with the fins pointing in? Go with your first instinct.
If you're like pretty much everyone else, you said the top line looks longer. It just does, right? But if we were to take a ruler to the screen, well, you'd find out they are exactly the same length. So what just happened? Did your brain just make a mistake? Not at all. This is a classical illusion called the Mueller-Lyer illusion, and it reveals one of your brain's cleverest shortcuts. See, your brain has spent your entire life in a 3D world, so it applies 3D rules even when it's looking at a flat, 2D image. The outward fins look like the far corner of a room, and the inward fins look like the near corner of a building. Your brain has a simple rule. If two things look the same size, but one seems farther away, the farther one must be bigger in real life. It's a smart assumption that works almost all the time.
And that's the crucial point here. Illusions like this aren't bugs in your system. They're features. They're these fascinating little windows that let us peek under the hood of the reality engine and see the brilliant, automatic assumptions it makes every millisecond to help you navigate a super complex world.
Which brings us all the way back to our big idea. What you experience isn't raw, unfiltered reality. It's a simulation, a really, really good one. It's a high-fidelity, constantly updated guess that's built from limited sensory data and a whole lifetime of experience and assumptions. It is, quite simply, your brain's best guess.
And that kind of leaves us with one final, fascinating thought to chew on. If your reality is a unique construction built from your own biology and your own experiences, what kind of world is the person sitting next to you living in? What is everyone else seeing? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.